I'm gonna give you the 4 best exercises that you can use to improve your speed on the baseball field, and we're gonna start right now. So let's put some context to speed on the baseball field. We've got to look at it a couple different ways, right? One, we've got to look at how to get out of the batter's box. When we're getting out of the batter's box, what position are we going to be in? And then what phase can we relate that to the track? Okay, so if we look at it through the drive phase, that's what we're doing. We're trying to accelerate as quickly as possible. So if I hit a dart down to third base and I know how to run properly, that's going to in turn help me get out of the box and accelerate at that very high speed. If I can accelerate faster, I can likely beat out that throw. That's a key concept here. If we're a fielder or if we're actually out running the bases, we've got to start to think about changing direction. We've got to start to think about having dynamic trunk control while we're tracking a ball. If we're running full speed and I'm running backwards and my upper body's going all over the place, I'm not going to be able to track the ball. This is exactly what happens when outfielders get into bad positions and they lose sight of the ball. They also might lose it in the lights, but there's a point to having a stable trunk, stable hip girdle, to be able to silence all that noise as I track that ball down and chase it down. So that has to come into how we're gonna be training speed for baseball. So these 4 key exercises are gonna help train that drive phase. It's gonna help get out of those different positions. It's gonna help us with lateral movement. It's very similar to D linemen. When a D lineman sees that offensive line start to flow this way, they're starting to shift laterally and then they're gonna cut, okay? That's what we see with shortstops. That's what we see with third basemen that have to make quick plays. So it's all gonna be about blast impulse. It's all gonna be about improving the drive phase. So those are the key contexts that we have to remember as we build speed for baseball. Okay, so that first key exercise is gonna be a side box jump. We're gonna ground unilaterally and drive back up onto the box. This is gonna help us with change of direction. This is gonna help us driving out of the batter's box. Even if we're trying to steal second base, it's gonna help us in that start position. If we're playing out in the field, especially in the infield, this is gonna help with that lateral agility. So we're gonna start here, okay? And we might drop, pause, don't fall over like I just did. So we wanna go down, pause, drive back up, okay? Down, pause, drive back up. And then we can get into a little bit more of a rhythm here, and that's gonna help us if I'm left-handed. If I hit the ball here and I'm getting out of the batter's box, I'm driving the exact way that I just grounded. So that's where this transfers really, really well. I would do 5 sets, 3 jumps on each leg. It's gonna help with that lateral agility and overall improve your speed out on the diamond. So this next key exercise, we're gonna use our strength band, our strength POWERLASTIC band. These are great bands that you can use to strengthen your shoulders. You know, if you wanna warm up properly, you can get these POWERLASTICs, do some shoulder external rotations, and then you can also come in and start to hammer some of these side lateral movements that are gonna help you out on the field. So here, we wanna tie this up, okay? Gotta move my mic. And I wanna think about this pulling me in. So what I'm really training is my inside leg, okay? So if I have the band attached to a fence, or the band attached to a bleacher, or to a post, anywhere. You can do this anywhere. You can do this at the baseball field, so you have no excuse. Pick up the POWERLASTICs at GarageStrength.com and start to improve this agility, this overall speed to help you out as a fielder, as a base runner, okay? So I'm here, I'm gonna focus on that inside leg, ground, drive back out, okay? Ground, drive back out, and try to get down to that baseball position, down, back out. Now, as I get more comfortable with that movement and more comfortable with that deceleration, I'm gonna go here, boom, okay? I wanna pause there as I'm warming up, but then get faster with that touch and go. Boom, okay? Boom. 5 sets, 3 reps each leg, and try to focus on which leg is your weak point. If my left leg's my weak point, I should do that first. If my right leg's my weak point, I should do that first. Cater to that weak side first, and then develop that over time, so you can improve that baseball speed. Okay, so my favorite exercise for baseball speed, and if you pick up the baseball program that's inside of our app, Peak Strength. So if you go to peakstrength.app, you fill out the questionnaire and you click on baseball, you're gonna get a personalized program specifically for you, and this exercise is gonna be in it. It's this single leg squat. So baseball players hate lifting weights. I know that for a fact. You guys all think you're gonna get big and bulky. You all think you're gonna be slow. You all think you're gonna lose that range of motion, right? I've heard it a million times. It doesn't happen. Trust me. Look at Bryce Harper. So when you look at Bryce Harper, he's extremely strong and explosive because he does things like this. So when we do single leg squats, what we wanna focus on is having that posture, having that dynamic trunk control in that unilateral position while we're targeting our posterior chain. If we target our posterior chain, we're strengthening our hips. So we're gonna be here, upright, okay, come down, touch that back knee, touch and go. I don't want to be wavering all over the place. And a lot of baseball players will say this specifically: it's not the weight on the bar, it's my balance. I know, that would be like saying when I'm tracking a fly ball, it's not my speed, it's the fact that I can't see the ball. You can't see the ball because you're all over the place. You don't have dynamic trunk control, which is why you also need to be training single leg squats. So we can do a couple sets here without the bar, and then as we get stronger, we get a little bit more confident in our ability. We add the bar, we add a little bit more resistance, we have good speed, we improve that strength in a unilateral position, and in turn, we have better baseball speed. And this last key exercise is gonna help you change direction and be as rapid as possible with your coordination while having dynamic trunk control. This is gonna be a reflexive movement that's gonna transfer very, very well to the baseball field, okay? So when we're playing baseball, there's a lot of change of direction and then forward movement after lateral movement. There's a lot of lateral, forward, okay? We can see where the ball's being hit. If it's a grounder, if it's a fly ball, we can then adjust based off of what our eyes are telling us. Now we can adjust based off of that information to track down that ball. That's where this comes into play. If we make a read, an initial read, and then that secondary read comes into play, now we have the skill of recruitment to make a better play, okay? But we've got to train that aspect of our body. We have to train our body to be smarter. If we don't do resistance-based training, we're not gonna get that. We're just gonna be skinny baseball players for the rest of our life, never fill out our jerseys and look pathetic. Maybe not look pathetic, but. So what we wanna do is we wanna focus on a side jump here into a snatch onto a bench, okay? And this flip with the hydro weight is gonna help with that shoulder stability. This hydro weight is absolutely amazing for baseball players. You can take this to your baseball field and use this as warm-ups. You can do skips, you can do shoulder warm-ups. You can do anything to improve that shoulder stability and that trunk control, which is gonna lead to better execution on the field. So we're gonna go here again. It's gonna be like a little pause there, okay? A slight pause, forward into that snatch. Okay, so we're gonna do that multiple times. Pause, forward. We wanna learn the movement over time, That's gonna be faster, boom, boom. Okay, you can get more aggressive. And as you learn the movement, you get faster and faster and faster. You can recruit a little bit better. And that's exactly why you need this exercise to improve that baseball speed. So if you need periodized programming, you need a personal program, make sure you head over to peakstrength.app or the Google Play Store or Apple Store where you can get our brand new app, Peak Strength. You get 7 free days of training. And then once you get into the app, you can establish that peak point to improve that overall performance. You're gonna get things like that single leg squat, side band jumps to help you with that baseball speed. Because remember, freaks, if you guys wanna become a champion, you've always gotta cultivate your power. Peace.